Ezrat Hashem. Ezrat Hashem. Okay. So we're continuing with Perek Gimel Pasuk Vav. Bechol derachecha, in all your ways, da'ehu, know him, acknowledge him. Vehu yeyasher orchotecha, and he will make, he will smoothen your paths. Says says the Gaon. We have here, again, he used it many times. We have two types of direction. We have the derech, we have the way, and we have the path, right? And we know that the way is what is large and open to all, and the orchot is narrower and very few go on it. It's the orchot is the path of tzaddikim, orchot tzaddikim, right? The tzaddikim usually go on the orech. But the derech, it's derech for everybody. The way is the way for everybody. So, says the Gaon, Shlomo HaMelech tells us, Bechol derachecha, when it comes to your ways, what it means to your ways, things that are gluim, things that are comments, things that are known, things that are logical. Da'ehu. Use your sechel. בכל הדרכים הגלויים לך, תראה אתה לדעת. Figure it out. Right? Things that are common. Decisions that are mundane. Use your sechel. It's coming as an ashlama also to what we said in the last show, right? In last pasuk, that you have to have bitachon gamur and not lean on the sechel, right? So that's in terms of the outcome, but in terms of the actual work that needs to be done, right? Not the outcome. All the ways that you take, daehu, use your da'at. Use your sechel. Vehu yeyasher orchotecha, but when it comes to the orach, to the little paths, which are foreign to you, more complicated, more exclusive, and they're hidden. It's the avodat Hashem that is not in the eyes of all. He will make sure that in your avodah, in the work that you do, benistar, on things that are not so mundane and not so known to all and not so logical, even though they are complicated and they are foreign to you, he will take away all the obstacles. So you have to do it l'shem shamayim, and you will see that Kadosh Baruch Hu will take care of it. So the avodat Hashem, that is an avodat Hashem that everybody, that is logical, that everybody knows, that is common to all. Your analysis, your assessment should come from your own sech, from your own logic. Obviously, if you have a logic, if your logic is aligned with the logic of the Torah, but use your logic. But when it comes to do things beyond that, that are more complicated, more intricate, that are out of your comfort zone, that are a little bit abnormal from what your social environment can tolerate, and therefore you're exposed to challenges, uncomfort, doubts, confusion. Your motivation should be Leshem Shamayim. What about all the exposure and what it can do to me, to my family? Don't worry, Hashem will take care of all the challenges along the way. That is the idea of the message that Shlomo HaMelech teaches us. Now the Gaon dives in to the sod hidden in that pasuk.
And this is only in Avodat Hashem or
everything across the board. Now, the Orchot Tzadikim usually, I don't know how do you apply Orchot Tzadikim in a Monday life? You know, in business. I don't know. But that's when you apply a mitzvah that, let's say, maybe in the Masrot or in being midvar sheker tirhak, not to manipulate, where most people say white lies all day long. Yeah. So, and you decide to be mahmir on being botech b'Hashem, like the Chovot HaLevavot says in the beginning of Chovot HaLevavot. You say things the way they are, and you're not scared of their outcome. So that's Orchot Tzadikim, right? So in these cases, logically, you're going to get stopped. Yeah, but the buyer, the seller, the broker, the banker, if you have bitachon that it will happen, it will happen. It's as though, yeah, you go with the emet, you say things the way they are, bechokhmah, but there's no way you're going to break the orach, the path, right, in the tzidkut that you're building. And when you think about it, every so yes, it applies to Vadaita, it applies to the Monday world, but through the mitzvot, through the halachot. So the Gaon now takes this hidush to a deeper level al pi hasod. He says not only that we have a klal, like a nice concept, that we have a nice message from Shlomo HaMelech, but he hid inside that pasuk also the way to do it. He says, "Bechol derachecha, bechol derachecha da'ehu." He says, there is the word da. In the word da'ehu, there's the word da-hu, right? Da-hu. Da from the word da'at, and hu, hevav. And right after that, it says, vehu, and him, he vav aleph, yeyasher orchotecha. Right? That's it. That it's true that in grammar, that's how you write it, right? That's the right way to write it. But says the Gaon Mivilna, Shlomo HaMelech chose those words specifically. He says, when you write the word hu, he vav aleph, it represents three things, three bchinot. The He is Hamisha Chumshei Torah.
The He is in which word?
The word Hu.
Hu.
He, Vav, Aleph. Okay, you find it also in the word Da'ehu. So the He of Da'ehu, or the He of Hu, the word Hu, right, is Hamisha Chumshei Torah. The Vav, Shisha B'Sidrei Mishnah. The Aleph is Pele, is the Nistar, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is the Sod. Right? Alufo shel Olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Alufo shel Olam. Hu Pele. Aleph is the letters Pele. Aleph Lamed Pe, Pe Lamed Aleph. Pele is something that is beyond your understanding, that is extraordinary. The only extraordinary true essence in the world is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything else is ordinary in the creation. So the Pele is Hashem, is the Sod, the secret of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the He and the Vav are Chamisha Chumshei Torah, Torah and Vav, Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, which both represent Torah Shebichtav and Torah Shebe'al Peh. Says the Gaon Davar Nifla Me'od. He says there's a major difference between the Hu in the word Dahehu and Hu in the word Vehu. What's the difference? Is that in the word Dahehu, you don't have an Aleph after the Vav. But in the word Vehu, you have an Aleph. Nachon? So says the Gaon, when you have the He and the Vav, but you don't have the Aleph, he says it's Torah Tanigle. Torah Tanigle is the logical Torah. Gemara, Mishnah, Chumash, Pirushim. When you add the dimension of the Aleph, which is referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who is hidden, who is the Pele, you now open a new dimension to the Vav and the He, which is the Nistarot of the Torah, the secrets of the Torah. Good?
Because Hashem is represented by the letter Aleph.
Yes. Aleph is, if you twist the letters, it makes the word Pele. Pele means extraordinary, right? So what is really extraordinary, like we just said, is only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything in creation is ordinary, right? So what is outside of the creation, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? So, and what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically represents in terms, when it comes to that concept? The Sod, right? It's the secrets. Because if the ordinary is ordinary, then is what we know, what you can know, what is accessible. The secret is what's not accessible. The Pele is not accessible or very hard to access, right? So says the Gaon Mivilna, Shlomo HaMelech gives us a secret. Bechol derachecha, in all your ways, when it comes to mundane logics, da'ehu, use your da'at and find the answer in the Hu, in the He and the Vav. Find your answers are in the Chamisha Chumshei Torah and the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. All the answers that to your behavior or the situations that are mundane and ordinary, you will find the answers in the Chamisha Chumshei Torah and the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, in the Gemara, in the Mishnayot. Torah shebichtav and Torah shebe'al peh in the nigle. And when you start talking about orchot checha, when you talk about the paths, orchot tzaddikim, right, the narrow paths that are not common, that are not ordinary, who now the aleph changes the dimension of the he and the vav and turn the he and the vav into the sodot of Chamisha Chumshe Torah, the sodot of Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. That's called the Torah Tanistar, the secrets of the Torah, right? The Chumash, you can learn it with Rashi, with a Pshat, and you have the secrets, right? In every pasuk, the Shemot HaKodesh, etc., etc. The same thing with the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, right? We think that you read Amar Akiva, Amar Rabbi Eliezer, but in the word Rabbi Eliezer, you have secrets. In the word Rabbi Akiva, you have secrets, like we say in the Segula before Pesach, right? From Rabbi Shimshon Me'Astropoli, who took a ma'amar in the Haggadah, right? And revealed secrets, Tilei Tilim secrets, right? Sodot Niflaim of Malachim, etc. So says Shlomo HaMelech, says the Gaon, Shlomo HaMelech teaches us something nifla. If you want success in your ordinary life, feed yourself with the Torah Tanigle, the Torah that is, the revealed Torah, which is the Gemara, the Mishnayot, and the Chumash. And there you will find all your answers. And that's where you're going to feed yourself the Chokhmah, the Da'at, necessary to make your decisions. But when it comes to an avodah, to situations that you are not accustomed to, that are not ordinary, because now you're on a path of tzidkut, you're on a path of growth, you're on a path that is not known to you, that's not comfortable to you, you need the dimension of Torah Tasod. That doesn't mean you need the Chokhmat Tasod, that you need the Chokhmat Tasod, that you need it, but you need the Segula of the Torah Tasod. Because when you learn the Torah Tasod, when you learn that Torah, and the Torah Tasod has to be L'Shem Shamayim, that's the definition, that's the essence of the Torah Tasod, that is taught only to special students, to people that had Yirat Shamayim. It's not the Torah that was passed on just like that. So the whole essence of it is to cherish and protect the secret, right? So that by learning that Torah, you tap into what? Into the hashpa'ah of the Aleph. You tap into the influence of the Aleph Alufo Shel Olam, into the sod, the Prinat HaSod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Bria, because this is what Torah, this is a layer of Torah HaSod in the different layers of Torah. And that grants the person Yeyasher Orchotecha. That segula, that beracha is what will free your path from challenges and problems that you may encounter.
Yeah, sure. Is to smooth.
To smoothen, yeah. Yes.
So when you're in that difficult situation, right? But again, we said it has to be L'Shem Shamayim. You have to now tap into the Torah Tasod. But is that something that you have to learn, or that means that it's Hashem saying, "I will intervene and handle it for you," like we saw?
Very good. Both.
Then,
HaKadosh Baruch Hu intervenes when it's L'Shem Shamayim, because when it's L'Shem Shamayim, essentially, right, you refer to the Nistar. Right? What is L'Shem Shamayim? You're doing it for the greater good of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know what it means. That's sod when you think about it. Now, the more you learn Torah Sod, and the more that Leshem Shamayim becomes accustomed to you. And yes, the more you learn Torah Sod, and the more the hashpa'ah, the influence of the kedusha of the Torah Sod that you're learning, of the secrets of the Torah that you're learning, impact the beracha of hu yeyasher orchotecha. Now,
Okay.
on a more pshat dik, on a more level of pshat in that sod, if you want answers to situations that are far from you or complicated and that cannot just be black and white logical decisions, your learning of the Torah Sod will give you that answers. It opens another piece of your brain that helps you see and analyze situations that you're not accustomed to. We addressed that in the Chokle Israel. Remember that we tapped into it. That if you look at the Chokle Israel, every portion of the Torah triggers and opens another part of your brain. The Sod does that.
That's why I do a little piece of
A
it.
little piece of everything every day. And the Sod does exactly that. You learn Sod, it gives you the clarity, it opens your brain so that you have clarity in situations that are complicated. Essentially, this is the Gaon Vilna is revealing to us the secret hidden in that pasuk. So you can learn that pasuk, Torah Tanigle, right? A simple pshat. This is first pshat. And he says, let me show you the Shem in the Shemot, what comes out of this. Practical avodah. Nick, is that good? Any questions?
Good.
Next pasuk. Zain. Al tehi hacham be'enecha. Don't be a wise guy in your own eyes. Don't think you're too smart. Yera Hashem, have fear in Hashem. Vesur mera, and sur mera is go away, right, from the bad. Says the Gaon Mivilna, Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell us. Now again, it's all built on now the assessment of using your chokhmah and your dat, etc. He says, well, be careful. Don't get lost in the pitui, in the high, the excitement of what you think you know. He says, because what am I just we told you that if you tap into the Sitra Torah, right, the secrets of the Torah, then you're covered. So one may say, okay, listen, I'm learning Mara, checking the box. I'm learning Mishnah, checking the box. I'm learning Chumash, checking the box. I'm learning Zohar, checking the box. Right? I'm doing Chokle Israel every day. And I'm very serious about it. I'm covered. Now I'm covered. I can make the right decisions. I know which path to take. I know the ways to go. And I know how to maneuver. I'm not going to fail. Basically, what is Shlomo telling us? So what does Gaon say? Again, don't be too wise in your own eyes. He's saying, don't think because you know, that means you know. You have to stay humble but you have to stay also vulnerable. Within yourself. I'm not talking in the eyes of people, within yourself. Yera Hashem, you have to, Yera et Hashem, you need to still have fear in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though He gave you the tools, and even though you're mastering the tools, or or at least you think you are mastering the tools. He says, why? Because Shlomo HaMelech himself fell. As we know in the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, right? So if Shlomo HaMelech, Chacham Mikol Adam, who mastered all the Chochmot, was challenged, and if you want to know how he was challenged, go and listen to all the shiurim that we gave in Shir HaShirim, and how the fall down happened, etc., and how he suffered from it. Do not think because you know that means you can apply the knowledge and you control everything. No. So yes, it's true that in the previous that in your ways you need to know and use your chokhmah and use your da'at. It's true all this. But don't think that's all it's needed. You cannot let go of a critical element when you need to make a decision and when you want to apply what you're learning. And that element is Yirat Hashem. Why? Why do you need that Yirat Hashem? If you know, you know. Nachon? Why should I pretend I don't know if I know? I know. I know what to do. So I come and tell you, do you know how to sign a lease? I know. I don't know. I know. So what's the issue? Why should we stay with an element of vulnerability? So the Gaon answers davar nifla. That's the Gaon is teaching us how to think now. Because which direction are you taking now? You're taking a direction. Why do I still need to be vulnerable when I know that I'm signing a list?
Not Hasidut, it's Da'at.
Huh?
Taking the first road.
No, even if you take the first road. Take the first road, he's telling us you need to stay also vulnerable. You need to have Yirat Hashem. Even though you're a Chacham, even though you have the knowledge, and even though you have the Da'at, you need to have Yirat Hashem. You need to stay vulnerable. You need to have fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does that mean? He tells you, don't think you know. I know Chokhmah, I found it, I know it. I'm not going to fail. So says, look at how the Gaon thinks. Step out of that machshava, that thought. He said, the Yareh et Hashem has nothing to do with the actual lease that you're about to sign. Because if you don't have Yirat Hashem when you're signing a lease, you're not going to have Yirat Hashem when you're going to fail. And you're going to make a mistake. And you're going to sin. He's saying the Yira et Hashem, you needed to cross the board when you know, and even when you don't know. Sorry, when you don't know, but even when you know. And it's by having Yirat Hashem when you know that you will be able to apply it when you don't know. But if you think it's exclusive only to situations where you're facing Yetzer Hara, well, when these situations come, you will not find the Yirat Hashem. You understand, Dan? Hidush nifla meod.
Yeah.
Hidush nifla meod. That the Yira et Hashem, fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though I don't need it in situations where I'm in control, I need to feel it and I need to remind myself of it and I need to implement it in my behavior. Not because I don't know or I'm scared here. No, you know, and it's fine that you know, but so that it's part of you all the time. So if Chavis Shalom comes a challenge, then it's within you. You know, it's not something you need to awake or go deep and find. It's a vibrant midah. It's a vibrant trait that lives within you all the time. And that's how lechaora, you can protect yourself from failing, right? And from sinning. Says the Gaon Mivilna, Shlomo HaMelech takes it one step further. Says not only that it helps you to hold yourself back, but if Khalila you fail, this is your safety net to do teshuvah right away and not drown in the sin. And this is what Shlomo HaMelech says, Vesur Mera. If you have Yirat Hashem, right? So you'll hold yourself back. And if you're not, also Vesur Mera, you'll be able to walk away
quickly
from the Avera. You'll be able to do tshuva right away. He says now we have another application of what we've discussed in the previous prakim of Chokhmah, Binah, and Da'at. Because the Chokhmah, the Chacham is who? That yes, he absorbs all the information, but the Chacham is the one that doesn't compartmentalize. Right? The Chokhmah is absorbing. The Binah is compartmentalization. So who's the Chacham? The guy that knows how to be sharp and know what he's doing, but include the Yirat Hashem. He doesn't compartmentalize it out.
separate.
So Yirat Hashem is talking about the Chacham, is using the Chokhmah. When you apply Yirat Hashem in moments of strength, you tap into your Chokhmah, you strengthen your Chokhmah, you trigger your Chokhmah. Vesur Mera. And how do you rebound from an Avera? How do you do Tshuva right away? How do you do Teshuvah? When you have Yirat Hashem, you recognize that there was an action that was wrong. You compartmentalize it. You capsule it and say, "This is not who I am. It's a moment. It's just a moment in time." So you put it aside, and now you can rebound out of it. Out of fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and awesomeness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right to jump back. And what do you need to compartmentalize? The Binah. So you apply now the Binah
to the Chokhmah.
With the Chokhmah, but at the moment when you need to react after a sin, after a failure, what do you need to trigger? You trigger the Binah in order to get out.
Filter it.
And exactly, you filter it and you step out of it. So says Shlomo HaMelech, the God comes and says davar nifla biyoter. He says here in this pasuk, these two psukim, Shlomo HaMelech teaches us how to use da'ehu da, the da'at, which is the medium between the chokhmah and the binah. The chokhmah, which is implementation of your Yirat Shamayim at all time, even when you feel invincible or you feel you're in control. And the Binah, so that you can be reactive and respond right away by isolating a moment of uncomfort or mistake in order to rebound right away and jump back. Hare Chokhmah Binah V'Da'at. In these two pesukim, Shlomo HaMelech showed us how to apply the Chokhmah, the Binah, and the Da'at.
So where's where I got the Binah and the Da'at. Sorry, the Chokhmah, the Binah. Where's the Da'at? I'm sorry.
The Da'at is the pasuk that we learned before.
Okay. Okay, so it's
That's
Okay.
the da'at, right?
So now we have all three. Okay.
How do you develop? How do you develop the da'at? Is by implementing and in an actionable way the chokhmat Torah that you're learning, right? The Torah shebichtav and the Torah shebe'al peh, the Torah shebichtav being chokhmah, the Torah shebe'al peh being bina, right? And when by applying it in your ways, in the ordinary decisions and lifestyle life decisions that you need to make, that's how you apply your da'at. Da'hu. So Shlomo Amir says, and don't get confused with your da'at, thinking that because you have da'at, that means the chokhmah that you have, that was applied in your da'at, right, is protecting you, and you know it all. That's not what you don't need. You cannot stay there only with that. No, you need to make sure that you always have Yirat Hashem. Be inclusive. Use your chokhmah to include the Yirat Hashem, even though you think you might not need it at that moment, so that it can be a safety net, right? And an alarm in situations to stop yourself from failing, or if you fail, to jump back on your horse. Nifla beyoter. One more, because it's a chet. We have time.
Yeah.
One more, because it's part of the pasuk chet. If you do that, rif'u tehi lesharecha, it will be a cure for your body. Veshikui le'atzmotecha, and a rejuvenation. Shikui is like a jump, like an injection of rejuvenation, right? To your bones. So here, the Gaon, when he dissects this pasuk, he separates what? He separates sharecha from atzmotecha. The body, or the flesh, from the bones. If you remember, who said, "Etzem me'atzamai ubasar mi besari"? She's bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Adam Harishon, right? About Chava. The Zohar Hadash writes that basar mi besari, the basar is referring to mitzvot aseh. Slicha, to the lota aseh. And shikul atzmotai, and the atzamot refers to the aseh. Why? Because the aseh are things that are rigid, things that you know what that you have to do. Just like the bones. The bones are rigid. They're defined, they're clear, and they don't waver. The lota aseh are more subtle. They have more flavors. And there's more of lota aseh than aseh. So when we talk about the body, when we talk about the flesh, we talk about the lota aseh, and when we talk about the bones, we talk about the aseh. That's the hidush of the Zohar Hadash. So says the Gaon the following: Rif'u tehi lesharecha. when you do teshuvah, when you have Yirat Hashem and you're able to rebound fast, it's a segula to cure your body, your flesh. Why? Because the flesh is the lo ta'aseh. A person failed in the lo ta'aseh. He failed to do something is prohibited. And by fixing it, he's curing his action, right? But by fixing it, it also cures his body, which is under the influence of the prohibition. Right? And it should be a rejuvenation and a spark to your bones. He says that's the Yirat Hashem that you have when you hold yourself back from failing. So you have Yirat Hashem, which is what when you hold yourself back from a transgression, that heals the bones. It's a segula for the health of the bones. And when you rebound out of Yirat Hashem right away after a transgression, after Avera, that's a segula for the refuah of the body, of the flesh. It makes a lot of sense. When Yirat Hashem, when you hold yourself back, right?
Yeah,
that means you're strong.
Right.
You held back. You held back. You're strong. So what did you just do? You consolidated your actions. So if the bones are aseh, and it represents mitzvot aseh, so it consolidates the bones. It makes the bones stronger. Segula to have strong bones. And when the person lo alenu fails, but right away his Yirat Hashem sparks a teshuvah right away. So what just happened? He was in the lo ta'aseh. His teshuvah, what does he do? He detaches himself, detaches the avera of the lo ta'aseh, the influence of the lo ta'aseh, right? And that purifies himself from the avera, from the sin of the lo ta'aseh. So the body that is influenced by the lo ta'aseh, when you do the avera, it contaminates the body. When you do teshuvah, right, you clean yourself from the action from the sin. So you clean your body from the influence of the sin, and that's how you bring the cure to the body. That's what Yeshaya said. Veshav verapelo. When you do teshuvah, it brings you the cure. Yeshaya. Here comes an interesting segula of the Gaon. And Shlomo HaMelech. Comes the Gaon and zooms in to the Ramah Hevarim and Shasa Gidim. He says we have to clarify when Shlomo HaMelech says Atzmotecha, your bones, it doesn't mean only the bones. It means the bones and the organs the bones are controlling.
Because it's the frame.
Correct. So, for example, the skull is the bone of the brain. The cage is the bones of the lungs, right? So Yirat Hashem, when you hold yourself back from doing an avera, You're consolidating your bone. You're consolidating your organs. You understand?
No, I don't understand the last part, the consolidating your organs.
Well, if Shlomo tells me shikui le'atzmotecha, that you strengthen, tonify, spark your bones. What does that mean? He says that again, when a person is about to do lo aleinu avera, okay, and he holds himself back. We just said, what does he do? He didn't fall, so he consolidated his action, right? So what does he just strengthened his assay, right? Mm-hmm. What impact does that have on the body? Says Shlomo HaMelech, it will strengthen the correlation in your body of the assay. What is the correlation in your body of the assay? It's atzmotecha. It's the atzmot, the bones. Which comes the Gaon Mivil now is not only the bones, it's the bones and the organs that the bones protect. So when you have Yirat Hashem and you hold yourself back from a failure, you basically consolidate the bone and its organ, the skull and its brain, the cage and its lungs. And that's
chained.
That's ושיקול לעצמותיך, סגולה נפלאה לרפואה שלמה. And if Khalila, a person fails, but he has his Yirat Hashem, why should he have his Yirat Hashem? Because we said earlier, right, in the beginning of the Pasuk, Al tehi chacham be'enecha, don't be too smart. Always have that. So the Yirat Hashem is vibrant within you. It didn't disappear when you have to tap in only when you need. No.
It's ready.
It's ready. It's vibrant. It's within me. So if Khalila there's a failure, and it happens, there's a failure, I rebound right away. So what do? I clean, I purify the contamination of the failure, of the Lota Aseh that was done. How does that correlate to the body? The Lota Aseh is the flesh, right? Is all the muscles and all the gidim and all the nerves. So by purifying the contamination of the action, by doing teshuvah, the influences in the body, it purifies the influence of the bad that was done by the avera in your body. So you're purifying now your flesh, your muscles, and your tendons. So that's how you bring refuah shelema to your body also. But it's very, very aligned with what the body represents. You understand? סגולה נפלאה. דבר נפלא ביותר. This is for today, Be'ezrat Hashem. Now next pasuk is jumping into another subject of chesed and tzedakah and Baruch Hashem. So we finished pasuk chet.
Thank you.
Ahava.